All right, we're live.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, hello everyone and happy Friday. Bree Stevens here, and I am with a special guest from the construction industry. We have not had anyone from the construction industry with us yet. So I'm really excited to share with you from Lighthouse Contracting Group. Jeremy Doucet's here, and he's going to share with us how things have changed since COVID-19. So we're super excited to directly hear from a business owner locally. So thanks, Jeremy, for being with us.
For having me.
Yeah, of course. So let's start off first with those who aren't familiar with you and your business. How long have you been in the business and what, do you focus on for construction in the area? And tell us a little bit more about your company.
So it's a Lighthouse Contracting Group, and we provide design, build, and general contracting services in the greater Gilford area, focusing on residential renovations. So most of our work's in the Gilford Laconia area, and we really focus on the project management and the carpentry of our projects, and we utilize our trade partners to get the rest of the work done. People we work with regularly, and we utilize the lead carpenter system, which is a working foreman. Two of the guys that are on the team are certified lead carpenters. We have I'm really fortunate to have an awesome team, and we have a great company culture. Yesterday, I got to work with the crew for the first time for a full day, or much of any time, really. I get to work in the field with them all day yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. I missed that, so hoping to get back to that soon, 1 or 2 days a week. But I've been focusing my efforts on the office, the sales, and support through administration, the project management side of things. So, and I really enjoy working with the clients, but I enjoy working with my hands too. So.
I mean, that's where it all started, was working with your hands and running it probably all yourself.
Right, exactly. It's nice to be a place to have other people that do that, and you can depend on them, and they do a good job. But I enjoy doing it too. So as you've probably seen, I've been working on my daughter's tree fort, and working
Yes.
with garden. That's nice.
Yeah. So yesterday was nationally Bring Your Kid to Work Day, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that so? I saw that you posted that you and your daughter, you've been working on, what is it you're bringing, like was it a treehouse kind of idea?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, kind of like phase 1 of the tree fort. So
yep.
there's only 2 right now, so got to keep it low, and then as the years go on, we can start building higher in the trees and whatnot. So that's why I kind of see the posts are kind of high on the corners, or just kind of leaving it open to further development.
I know you inspired our team agent Brendan Connolly for that, yet his daughter is not even rolling over yet, so he has some time.
Yeah.
But it was definitely inspirational for him to think about times ahead. So it
I
looks
was
like a
in
really
his
fun
shoes.
project.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was thinking about tree forts 5 years ago before even having kids. So I just it's justified.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I also want to touch on, we've kind of met through the Home Builders Association, the Lakes Region Home Builders Association, and particularly through the event that we do Columbus Day weekend, the Parade of Homes. Now, the past 2 years, you had homes in the parade, won your own home, and then last year was a remodel on Governor's Island. And you won a bunch of awards for that house as well. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. It was a great project, great clients, and the opportunity to work with some great people. Sean Dudek of No Limits Metalworks, he built a beautiful custom railing. It was Kevin Buttermore, he did the boat restoration in the basement. So it was cool. I got to work with a lot of people that I hadn't worked with before, and so it was a great opportunity.
Yeah. And I think it showcased too a lot, you mentioned your specialties more like the remodel renovation, of which that project was. But I mean, you did so much through that, and you post a lot on Facebook too. So I'd encourage people to follow you on Facebook and Instagram, because you're updating people throughout these projects. So it's really cool. So the boat, if people are wondering, you mentioned you had a boat in a house. Why don't you explain that a little bit more?
It's a 1935 Chris Craft wooden boat, 16-foot boat. It is gorgeous, and it was made into a custom bar. So there's some glass around the back and side with these custom bar stools made to sit around it. The lights work, the horn works. You can sit in it. and it looks out through this big 10-foot picture window with the lake just 50 feet outside the window. So it really looks like if you're looking out at the water. It's pretty cool. It's quite a feature. Yeah, for sure. It was an extensive remodel. Everybody, a lot of people that came in, this is new construction. No, it was existing. Just it was basically, got it down to the studs and reconfigured and then rebuilt. So that's about as extensive as it gets for a remodel.
Yeah, and it showed beautifully. Everyone was talking about it, and of course, all those awesome awards. So congrats.
Thank you.
And then I was going to touch on too, you've also, not only are things, busy in the construction industry, but you've also been rebranding. So if you go to your Instagram and Facebook, you just unveiled your new logo and your new branding effort. So super fun.
Yeah, thank you for some help and guidance with that too. You're
of course.
the queen of branding and marketing. So
well, I
love
love
what you're doing.
The results were awesome. I really like the logo a lot. So be sure to check that out too. I know and what I love most too is you're sharing what you're working on, whether it's the logo or out in the field. And you mentioned you're kind of going back and forth too. So you're really bringing people behind the scenes of what you're doing. And I think your latest project is a waterfront on Winnisquam.
Yes, that's a big, extensive remodel as well. So that one we've been planning since September, and fortunately, it's a really good project for the current situation because it's the whole exterior. So it's all the siding, trim, windows, all new doors and sliders, and there's a big radius deck and a wonderfully and large screened-in porch with a nice outdoor kitchen. So it's a perfect project for us, and it's a second home. So the client's around sometimes, but not much interaction. So it's a perfect situation for us to be able to work safely. There's not a lot of other trades around, so we can maintain distancing and proper protocols and everything. So that's going to take us into pretty much the 4th of July. So, nice. But it's going to be a beautiful project for sure. It'll be quite the transformation.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see those pictures. Now, you're touching on what we're going to lead into is protocols and things like that. If you go to Lighthouse Contracting Group's website, they have a blog on protocols. But Jeremy, could you elaborate more? Since COVID-19 and things have changed, what are you specifically doing in your business to adjust to, working safe and, following different ways of living right now?
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer that, there's no reason to reinvent anything, any ideas. Somebody else has already done something really well. So just need to find, who's put that together. And for this situation, the National Association of Home Builders and the Construction Industry Safety Coalition, they put together this COVID-19 exposure prevention, preparedness, and response plan. And so we basically just followed that to the T. What it consists of is, cleaning all tools and surfaces daily, most of the time twice daily. We don't share tools. We're setting up additional, saw stations and whatnot. That way everybody's got their own stuff. So maintaining proper distances and following the, respiratory etiquette, staying masked and gloved. And then the biggest part of it is having as much delivered as possible to greatly reduce trips to supply houses in the lumberyard to keep all of us out of places. And so not only just our exposure, but the people that are keeping their doors open to keep us going. So, we don't want to put them at risk either. So we just everybody's working together, which is pretty cool. I mean, the vendors are all still up and running, curbside pickup, more delivery. I'm really appreciative of everybody that's out there making all the additional effort and going out of their way to continue to be able to service us. But getting back to what they put together for their response plan, they put together this whole toolbox, they're calling it, which is a bunch of templates that you can use and customize. And I utilize that whole toolbox to put together, a binder of our guidebook, our COVID-19 guidebook, which we keep on site. we made a little box right by the front door of the job, so it's right there. So if anybody's walking by and sees us working there, they can see that we're doing it responsibly. And we also, there's a poster, there's an 11 by 17 poster template, part of that toolbox we printed and had on the side, right on the side of the building there. So it's like right next to the permit. Basically, this is how things are being conducted, and just doing our part to follow the guidelines. And if anybody's sick, we had one of our employees out with, it ended up being a GI bug last week, but it sent him to get medical advice and make sure cleared him before being able to come back, just so that everybody's staying safe. And so
Good. There's a lot going on and a lot to implement and continue with, on top of all the other regular, OSHA and other safety protocols that you have to follow in the industry.
right.
So definitely different times. You mentioned the suppliers. I was curious on that end. Is it affecting timelines? Are you seeing delays in any products that you need right now?
Yeah, I would say that's the biggest challenge, because a lot of the vendors are working from home, so for the most part, they are doing, I would say, in totality, they're doing a great job, because they don't really have the resources that they're used to working with, and they're literally pretty much all working from home. So for them to collaborate in a way that they're used to collaborating, some of them aren't used to the technology either. So, but they're getting it done. Like, for instance, this railing order I just signed off on this morning, I've been ready to order for 2 weeks, and it's taken, to go back and forth between all the proper parties because everybody's not in their normal circumstances. It's taken that long to kind of be able to confirm it. But a lot of what we're seeing is, a little bit longer lead times. The production's a little slower. Transit, I think, is the biggest thing, across all industries. Things are taking a little bit longer to move around. They're a little bit harder to move between countries also. So, like fasteners are the biggest challenge right now. I have hoarded a vast collection of fasteners to get us through the next few months. So, because the stuff we know we're going to need anyways, and it's running off the shelves. And so a lot of the fasteners are made overseas, and the warehouses that typically stock those in the States, they're running dry. So, that's kind of the biggest challenge, and mostly just things taking a little bit longer. But all in all, we haven't ran into any huge hiccups. We're really grateful for all of our great relationships with our vendors, and the reps, and people are really friendly, and they want to make the effort. Big shout out to Middleton Lumber. I mean, they're my main supplier, and they're doing an incredible job. I've never seen so much red text on their online inventory that says, out of stock, yet somehow they always make it happen.
Awesome.
Yeah, so and the whole team's still there, and I rely on them heavily for even my day-to-day operations, and they're doing a great job as they keep the showroom open just with proper protocols, and they got tape lines on the floor everywhere, which are really nice tape lines too, by the way. It's quite impressive.
That's awesome. I mean, it's definitely a chain reaction with everything, but it sounds like everyone, that you're working with and yourself are doing what's necessary. And I mean, just in keeping everyone safe, not just your business, but those that, are affected by your business too, with the suppliers. So it's good to hear that everyone's still able to do that.
That's something I've learned a lot on this, on the personal side, is it's not so much about me as it is protecting other people, so being a little less selfless and just being aware that, could be the culprit itself. So what can we do to improve the situation? Because also trying to do our part to keep the economy going too. We're really fortunate that we're still able to work, and really service the needs of our clients, because there's still things that need to happen. So we're grateful that in our state we're allowed to work. Other states we're not. I have colleagues from my national peer groups that they're totally shut down. They're not even allowed to really. They're not even really supposed to be holding Zoom meetings with clients. So it really just stops the planning and design process. But We have one, for instance. Yeah, I had one client just called last week and going to meet. We'll do a video walkthrough this afternoon. They won't be there. I'll go in and do a video chat while I walk through. But they had a pipe burst in January, and the place is it's been slow to kind of get it back in order. And but you don't want to leave a house sitting like that either. So it's great that it can still service the needs of our clients and try and do so safely. So what it really is looking like for us for the months ahead is there'll be a lot of decks and porches, which is great because we can work with a small crew, and we don't need a whole lot. We can stay outside out of people's homes, not putting them at risk, and continue to work in a safe manner. So still selling work right now, which is awesome. I'm really grateful for that. To be still getting calls, but most of it's one person, they want a home office because now they're working from home. They're like, geez, I really should have a home office here, right? It doesn't have to be right now, but in a few months, 3 to 6 months, I'd like to have a space to work in when I am working here. But the rest of it's mostly decks and porches. So it looks like that's what we'll be doing till Labor Day at least. So we're just, I think, fortunate to have those leads, have those clients, and be able to have that work and kind of do our part.
Yep. Well, it certainly sounds like you definitely have. And for our industry with real estate, it is the people, wanting to come up, but they're going to be, we'll be outside most of the time as you are with the porches and decks.
Right.
But the home is so important now since everyone's at home. They're thinking of, if they're going to maybe continue and how long they'll continue to virtually work from home. So like the office, like you mentioned, it's an interior designers who you work with too. We've talked to some of those on our lives the past couple weeks, and people are thinking of the projects right now and they're at home. What are we going to do next? And that's going to continue to grow the industry. Not that there isn't. The one thing we work on together at the Home Builders Association is the lack of people in the workforce.
Yeah.
Trades specifically. So I know you do a lot with the school, the tech school. Could you just touch a little bit on how that's changed? Because you have an employee or student helping you a lot of the times, and now they're not in school. How has that changed, or do you know of from the tech school and with yourself and your business?
So our apprentice is a senior this year. He'll be graduating, next month. He's basically been working full time for the most part. He'll take, it took like a couple hours yesterday morning to get his schoolwork done before he comes in, or if it's raining, he'll get his schoolwork done then. But he's, he planned on joining full time when school got done anyway. So he got a little bit of a jump start to his career, and he can still get his work done. He does say that he wished that he'd rather just be in school because it's, the remote learning piece is kind of challenging. And my wife being a middle school teacher, she's home with my daughter managing that piece of it too. It's, I think it's challenging for all involved, especially the parents trying to be, homeschoolers at this point. But so for Jason, our apprentice, and he's being able to stay on the team and kind of get a little bit of jump start on his career. But the vocational school, Hewitt, that the Home Builders Association worked with, that came to a grinding halt because basically there's nothing we can do there, and it's just going to have to pick back up in the fall or whenever schools open again, because the biggest part of that is being able to work with the students, it's give them a project, to give them real world experience, and have the collaboration between the builders and of the community, or vendors, or all the different people that partake in that. And it's great. And so it's really fun to be a part of that team, and part of the Gilford community too. I work with the technology teacher at the Gilford High School, going in there and working with or speaking with some of the students and just trying to align them with different people in the community for mentorship or internship or anything like that, which is one of the reasons I really started with the Home Builders Association, is just to be an advocate for building the workforce and getting the next generation into the workforce. And I've had the opportunity to work with some great students doing that. Our last apprentice worked with us for 2 years before he moved on to, he finally decided he wanted to be a framer. We don't do a lot of framing, so it was great tenure, and he found a good opportunity to move on to. And, Jason's been with us for 1.5 years now. So, he's 16, barely 16 when he started.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was great. Even get to bring him to Vegas this winter. We went to the International Builder Show. Sometimes I forget that he's 17 years old. He's a high school student. He's such a good worker, and he's well mannered. So we scored with
That's
him.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you've done a lot and added, so much value and continue to add value to the Home Builder Association that we're a part of, and being on the board there too, on helping the kids at the tech center and encouraging workforce development. That's our initiative there. So that's awesome. I'm glad everything's working out that way.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you joining me today, this Friday. And, if anyone who's just tuning in now and you missed it, this is Jeremy with Lighthouse Contracting Group. And I've tagged him in the caption of the post here. So if you missed it, you can rewatch it when we're done and hear from him how the building industry has changed since COVID-19. The steps his business has taken during these times, and how it's, vendors that he works with have also been affected. And you also can hear about his business in general, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, thank you for your
Yeah.
time and all that you do for your community, both business and personally as well.
Appreciate it. So definitely check them out, Instagram and Facebook. You're very active on both platforms, and it's super exciting. I love before, during, afters, and that's what he's sharing with a lot of people and a lot of knowledge. So thanks for that, and thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thank you.
Awesome. Take care.
You
Bye,
too,
everyone.
Have a good one.
Bye.